2 days, no sleep. Maybe something's wrong with this mattress. Why is it so hard? I can hear my sister snoring. It's the kind of snoring that breaks leases, ends marriages. Is she dying? I get up to check my mattress like a deranged princess in the pea. Only there is no mattress. I've been sleeping on 2 box springs, piled on top of each other, with a foam egg crate for the illusion of softness. I start crying. I'm losing it. My older sister is visiting from Connecticut, and we are staying at my mom's house in Westminster, just north of Irvine. I never spend more than a few hours at my mom's house, but my sister's rare visit has forced me into this torturous family reunion. I want this home to feel familiar, but it just doesn't feel like home. My mom has strange roommates and yappy dogs, and her cooking never quite sits right. I fumble for my phone in the dark, my sister's snoring almost acting as an echolocator, bouncing off any object with weight. I lock myself in the bathroom and turn on the fan to mask any sounds of hysteria. I check the time, 2 a.m. I call my boyfriend. I'm just seeking a little comfort. I want to go home. I'm going to pack up and go. My sister snores like a dying T-Rex, and my mom thinks 2 box springs equals a bed. I didn't sleep at all last night. I'm so tired. I feel sick. I want to come home now. I'm staying with the woman that I used to fall asleep with on the couch for afternoon naps. The woman that braided my hair and bathed me, yet I cannot relax in her home. His voice is calm and tired at the other end. Shh, baby, 1 more day. You can do this. It's your family. Just think of how happy this makes your mom to have you there. The walls are covered in thrift store Jesuses and crosses, a nod to her converting from Buddhism to Catholicism, a religion she may have switched over in order to appease her northern Vietnamese boyfriend. Fake flowers covered in dust pepper the bedroom. There is no recognizable scent or perfume that brings fondness or familiarity. The whole house just smells greasy and spicy all the time. She has some memorabilia scattered around that I recognize. A painting my dad brought back from Japan when he was stationed there. An expensive and realistic stuffed tabby cat holding a kitten in her mouth. I remember begging my mom to buy that for me for Christmas over 25 years ago. It cost $37. I love that stuffed cat. Now it's perched in the corner, hair matted with dust. There are framed pictures of all of us kids, pictures from high school graduations, missing teeth, and awkward 80s haircuts. But even with these familiar faces and childhood toys, this is just not home for me. I hear a cough coming down the hall. It's the 70-year-old Vietnamese man my mom rents a spare room to. She prepares his meals, just basic room and board. He's some uncle of a friend of a poker buddy she knew from Saigon or something. He doesn't speak any English, and he keeps his TV on all night. I hear him come walking down the hall, so I sneak back into the room I'm staying in and lock it behind me. I slip into bed still on the phone. It's like a halfway house in here. 1 more day, my boyfriend whispers back at me. 1 more night, and you'll be back in your own bed. You're fine. Call me in the morning. It isn't only the old man that lives down the hall that makes me uncomfortable. None of my mom's friends, or even her renter, introduce themselves to me. I've tried. My handshake and, "Hi, I'm Soon's daughter," is just brushed off with a nod. My mom also takes care of my brother Bobby. He lives in the garage. He is 50 years old, between jobs, missing a few teeth, and has a little weight collecting around his middle. He has some undiagnosed mental illness that no one has ever bothered to recognize. He has just always lived at home. There is the echo of first-person video game gunfire and the screams from B-grade bootleg horror movies coming from his walls. My mom buys him a 12-pack of Bud every week, leaves hot meals outside his door, and collects the empty dishes from the day before. He, in turn, gives her money when he can, and he takes care of the dogs. There are always dogs. Little, yappy, ill-behaved dogs. They have names like Lucky or Princess or Muffy. Some Pomeranian Shih Tzu Chihuahua hybrid my mom takes in after her friends don't want them. There are always dogs. I would strangle one of those dogs for a couple Benadryl right now. I settle back onto my double box spring, the wooden slats creak. I take another pillow and slam it against my free ear and hold it tight, using both arms, leaving just my nose and my mouth peeking out. I start thinking my sister's snoring is a medical condition. Healthy people don't make that kind of noise. I'm still crying. There is a realization that hits me harder than the lack of sleep. All those years growing up, my mom just pretended to keep an American home to please her husband, neighbors, and her American daughter. She even changed her name to Sue Ann from Soon to reduce the confusion of pronunciation with all those white housewives. As soon as that marriage ended, she went native and moved to California, leaving me at 10 behind in Waspy, Connecticut. I was given the choice to move with my mom to San Diego or stay with my dad on the East Coast. I remember trying to visit her in her small apartment in City Heights, and I felt the same way I do now. Her friends were loud. No one bothered to tell me their names or speak English to me. They chewed with their mouths open and stayed up late playing cards. She didn't have to be quiet anymore. No early school mornings to wake up for. My mom just left food out on the counter that definitely should have been refrigerated and served it for breakfast the next day. I remember getting the shits from eating that breakfast. To this American daughter, it felt very third world. My own mom felt foreign to me. I couldn't adapt to her. So I made the choice to live with my dad and maybe saw my mom a few times until I was a teenager. And as a family, we moved around a few times when my dad was in the Navy and I was just a little girl. Every new town, my mom would rush out to make new friends with any Asians she could find. What are you, Japanese, Korean? You call me sometime. Giving out our home phone number to the woman bagging our groceries. I was too young to acknowledge the loneliness she felt. And thinking about it at this moment was too overwhelming. The home I remember was never the home my mom ever wanted to be in. We had expensive Noritake china and antique furniture handed down from my dad's family. Each kid had a matching bedroom set, and each bathroom had matching towels. You could make a PB&J if you got hungry and take a nap while cartoons played in the background. It was an illusion she helped create for her spoiled, Americanized baby girl. I was my father's first kid and my mother's last. Basically, I was a huge fucking brat. My mother had a little girl that couldn't speak her language and grew accustomed to McDonald's and sleepovers. And it is in this place that she has built for herself over the past 25 years that she has invested all of her love in and has made her home. It is crowded with people and animals and memories of her kids. It is where she looks forward to being after a few days away that is filled with her love and her language. This is the place she longs for. I do eventually fall asleep. Really, my body didn't have a choice. When I wake up, my arms have cramped from holding both pillows against my ears. I look over and my sister has already made her bed and left the room. I hear laughter and dogs yapping and banging pans. I lay there for a good 10 minutes until making my way downstairs. I hear my mom chirp, "Good morning, baby, you sleep good?" Not really, but it's okay. Thank you.
Tonight's co-producer, Suzanne Hoyem.